Are the Celtics with Kyrie the top seed in the East?
No. Listen, no, because LeBron is always, we don't even got to put Cleveland on. LeBron's always the top seed in the East, regardless of what the standings say. Does adding Kyrie to me, and I'm going to flip the question and answer one that I think is a better question. Boston's more of a threat now to Cleveland. I think adding Kyrie Irving to Gordon Hayward, now they have a legitimate superstar. I believe Kyrie Irving's a legitimate superstar. Hayward now a legitimate number 2. You still have a great coach there in Brad Stevens. I think the Eastern Conference has just gotten very interesting. Look, do I think Cleveland will win? Absolutely. But I think it's a 6 or 7 game series now.
Kyrie Irving is the best finisher. I've never seen the best finisher in the league be 6'2". It's always been Kobe, Michael, Shaq, Duncan. So now I get the best finisher. I mean, Boston had a bunch of B guys. Isaiah was good. Best finisher, best young coach. Guy draws up the best plays. Guy ends possessions the best way. I think that's the difference, is that Boston seeking big shots in games is way better end of possession, end of half, end of game. I think that's a real thing in the playoffs. You may not feel the difference with Isaiah, Kyrie, regular season. You get to playoff games, they are absolutely, you just talked about, hey, Isaiah's got LeBron. Kyrie's got Brad Stevens, who draws up the best half-court plays in the league, and now you've got the best finisher. That's where Boston's better to me.
Well, and I agree with you on this perspective, too, that when you look at Boston in the makeup, what hurt them in the playoffs last year was late-game situations when they had to manufacture a shot. It was only Isaiah Thomas. Yep. No one else could really do that. The question goes to the learning curve for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, how quickly they can assimilate to their different roles. Now, moving Jay Crowder, I thought, was critical for Boston because it opens up quality minutes for these 2 young men. So now you don't have to worry about that factor. They can grow into that. Does it close the gap with Boston versus Cleveland? Of course it does, because Kyrie is a game changer. Brad Stevens, his intellect in regards to underneath, out of bounds, how to get possessions and plays off stripped of your offense means a lot. But you still got to go back to one thing in regards to understanding how to win in a 7-game series, and that's where this Boston team stay healthy. That's where the question is going to come. Can you beat Cleveland in 2? Yeah. Can you beat them in 7 mentally is going to be the question.
But let's not forget, and we've seen this twice with LeBron in his walk here in the postseason. Jim, you remember against the Celtics the first time around? LeBron checked out. You remember against the Spurs? They got blown out in the finals. One of the issues that nobody's talking about, the cloud of what will LeBron do is going to hover over that Cleveland team the entire season into the playoffs, and that's where Boston's youth, they're very young, Jim. Great point, like Gordon Hayward's 27. They got a lot of guys under 30. By the time the postseason rolls around, I think Brad Stevens has a winner here.
That's an interesting point. There is a psychology to sports. Like, I feel like Boston just bought a new house. You know, all the rooms aren't perfect, but it's new paint, new house, new fun, new neighborhood. Psychologically, does Cleveland, Whitlock, feel like this is an old team? This is an old team.
They just got Jay Crowder and Isaiah Thomas. They just got younger. And
Isaiah Thomas has a bad hip. He's a 29-year-old guy.
He's 29. We'll see. I think he recovers, and I think playing alongside LeBron gives him new life. We've seen it with everybody. Again, I'm not comparing Isaiah Thomas to Dwayne Wade, but we saw what LeBron did for Dwayne Wade, who was a little bit banged up. We saw what he did for everybody that he plays with. You know, LeBron's that tide that lifts all boats.
Who are you more excited to watch next year? Celtics or Cavs?
The Cavaliers.
I'm the Celtics.
I'm Celtics, too. Oh, I got to see this.
I think the Celtics...
What world are you living in? You're the biggest LeBron James homer. And then somehow,
now it's starters. Four new starters.
LeBron James has been the greatest show in the basketball for the last 15 years.
Could you argue this? Boston now has the 2nd and 3rd best players in the East. Kyrie Irving, Gordon Hayward.
No.
I want to see those.
Greek freak. Come on.
How do you go Greek? Come on, John Wall. You put Gordon Hayward in front of him. Now, keep in mind this. NBA, when you think about this, the NBA is like a movie. What we just saw was a snapshot of what it could be. We got to let this thing play out a little bit more to really see how the interaction with Kyrie and Brad Stevens works, but also what happens with Cleveland in regards to Isaiah's health. Again, we're 30 days away from camp. He hasn't been on the court yet, okay? That is critical to see how this whole thing plays out.
What? Jim Jackson isn't a doctor, but he plays one on this show.
He's hammering away at Isaiah. Maybe he has access to the,
Hey,
the
listen,
doctor information.
I was with Dr. J all weekend.